Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Labour say that they are moving into phase 2. But what did they do for the British people in phase 1? In this video, TalkTV's Hartley Brewer and Tom Slater from Spiked Online discuss what Labour did in phase 1 and their plans for phase 2. We will also explore the leadership principle of vision and how it shapes effective policy and messaging. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
You're as perplexed as I am about this whole phase 2 of this Labour government, because as Trevor Kavanagh, former political editor of The Sun, pointed out, this government said they were going to hit the ground running because there was so much they wanted to deliver. But it turns out not so much phase 1. Was anything achieved in phase 1 that we can point to?
We racked up loads more debt.
Well done.
We tried and failed to make some pretty minor trims to various parts of the welfare budget. A lot more people were locked up for tweets, as far as I can tell. That's carried on unabated, although that's not necessarily directed by the government itself. So,
Isn't it though?
Well, there's suspicions, isn't there?
Law and order sorted.
That's been absolutely sorted. Yet I haven't seen an act of shoplifting for at least 2 or 3 hours, so that's better.
You've been
than it
here,
used
though,
to be.
fair.
That's true. That's true.
Has no one stolen anything from the fridge?
I have. But I didn't
you
want to
have.
say
Okay.
anything.
But I mean, I'm getting illegal migration. That's sorted.
Yeah.
I would say phase 1. Remarkable says this does remind me ever so slightly. I remember doing history A level, and we were talking about when everyone had to report to Stalin in the 30s on pig iron production up 4,500%, and they would just say whatever you just said, whatever, and everyone had to believe and clap, and George Orwell, based 1984 on a lot of what was going on in Stalinist Russia, where the lies, the propaganda, the nonsense, and that's the territory we are in, isn't it? So this 1 in 1 out migrant deal fiasco. Don't worry, it's going to start within weeks. It's all going to be fine. We're going to stop a few families who granted asylum from bringing their families. A few people bringing their families here. Nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Pig iron production is up 4,500%.
It's like that, and yet with the goals are even more meagre and pointless. It's like we've got the breakfast clubs up and running. We've managed to secure a deal with France, which, if we're lucky, could mean 50 people going back a week in the context.
50 people coming here with their families.
Absolutely, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, the fact that he's got to, constantly kind of talk about his successes and then not really have many successes to point to really shows how little has been achieved. And that's one thing. Things have gotten worse in many different measures. We could talk about the economy, certainly, but also they're struggling to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that is really striking.
No vision
they can't
and no
act
competence
at all.
Yeah.
So that's going to.
But whenever I've seen lists put out by some Labour activists about all the things achieved by Labour, there'll be pages and pages, and it will do things like setting up a review of blah blah blah, a commission into that public inquiry into child grooming. Anyone? Where's that? Who's in charge of it? When are they starting taking witnesses? Where, I mean, nothing actually happens.
Yeah, well, they have done, and reading and trying to stay awake whilst reading about the reshuffle this week, is that there's been all of this effort put into kind of internal processes. We've got the delivery boards, and we've got the delivery office, and we've got 30 civil servants.
And the director of delivery.
The director of delivery and the assistant to the director of delivery and the arbitrator of the director of delivery when he's on holiday. Like all these kind of different kind of positions
they love a
which
job
have been
title,
created.
don't they?
And they haven't delivered anything. Apart from more of the same. And
do they know
what
what they want to do? I mean, that's the thing, you get into these existential things, because fundamentally it's like when they announce anything to do with migration, and you just think, oh, no, do you see how you've missed the point? And again, it's things like, we want the asylum hotels closed. Yes, that's what we'd like. But not to put them into local housing, or as we discussed on the show yesterday, a local, £300,000, townhouse that a family would desperately want to move into. That's not what we want. We want them not here. We want them in a camp, detained, and then we want them not here in another country. It's like they kind of always tackle the other end of the problem. And when we were discussing on the show yesterday, it seems to me so much of what they do, they think, like, for instance, the problems in the reshuffle, there was more reshuffling of communications officers numbers in number 10 than there was of actual ministers or cabinet ministers yesterday. No one has heard of any of these people, but they've all abjectly failed. But they think it's a communications issue, and it isn't. It's the policy issue. And this was the same that Kamala Harris, the Democrat candidate to the American election in 2024, and so many Democrats saying, "Oh, it was the communication." No, it was her and what she believed and what she wanted to do, and her track. It was all actual, real stuff that people object. People aren't stupid. They're not going, "Oh, if only I knew more about Labour's achievements, then I would be really supporting them." There's a reason why you've got Reform of 35% in the polls, 15 points ahead of Labour only a year after a general election. It's because people actually want some tangible action done, and they're still not seeing it from the Tories and Kemi Badenoch. They're talking. They're in the right direction on net zero. They're in the right direction on the trans stuff. They're in the right direction on immigration stuff, but they're not there yet. And people are going, "No, we've known about all these problems for a long time. We want some tangible, real, factual things that you will do."
No, absolutely. And I think that the Tories have sort of allowed Reform to steal a march on them to a large degree because...
I mean, shockingly so.
So this announcement about net zero, we knew they were going in this direction. Similarly with the announcement about the ECHR, we know they're heading towards that kind of position, pulling out. But because they've insisted they needed to wait months to go through these policy reviews, and on one hand you get that, you want it to be a credible plan.
But why does it take months?
At the same time, you can announce your intention, you can sketch out the details later. So they've kind of allowed themselves to just be pipped to the post by Farage on many different issues, or quite frankly, they just look like they're playing catch-up because net zero, for instance, Reform been pretty firmly against for quite some time. We were talking about it when the Tories were just saying, "Oh, we just need to push back some of the dates and we need to
by a couple of years." Yeah, absolutely.
So
Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Labour Party lack vision. Their actions so far have only worsened conditions for Britain and its people. Was this their initial plan for the country? If so, they're succeeding in destroying it. An old proverb states, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." We are seeing this play out in the UK, where leadership without vision is harming the nation. Too many politicians crave power, but have no idea about where they're going or what they aim to achieve. Effective leaders are proactive, not reactive. Yet Labour seems to scramble with new plans only when crisis hit. And those plans consistently make things worse. Now they are questioning if their messaging is the issue, reshuffling their team while the rest of Britain sees the real problem, their flawed policies. Messengers can't deliver. Labour's reshuffle is a classic case of blaming the messenger when the message itself is muddled. Why? Because there's no guiding vision to shape the message. No vision means no clear plans, no coherent messaging, as some people in the public are left wondering what's going on, while the smart ones realize exactly what's happening. Messaging can't exist in a vacuum. Labour's approach seems to be doubling down on refining their message while pushing disastrous policies, leading the country further and faster into decline. Today's politicians often get lost in complex ideologies, lacking the common sense needed to govern effectively. This creates a disconnect between clueless leaders and citizens who see the obvious solutions. True leaders need a clear vision of where they're taking the country. Britain deserves leadership that inspires and unites, not confuses and divides. The country needs leaders who can articulate a bold vision to guide the nation forward. What kind of vision do you want for the UK? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.